years ago when I was here, but it's been 3 years. We are on the Joyful Loser Tour. It's bittersweet for us because that's actually not my big brother. Is there any reason why you have a towel, Julian?
It's not mine.
Oh, this towel is worth money. Came from humble greatness. No, that's an anointed towel. You're not supposed to pick it up right outside. I'm just joking. We're just gonna put it over here.
My bad.
It's all good. So, this is Julian, it's my son. I was a teenage dad. Now I get to be a dad of a teenager. Still not sure which one was harder. But this is actually, listen, his last tour as my DJ. So he is going to be starting college early for some reason. And he's going to leave me without a DJ. But so yeah, this, for a lot of you, this may be the first and the last time you get to see the father and son hip hop duo. So I'll never forget, I'm just kind of reminiscing because this is like probably our 6th tour together. Of course, we do events all throughout the year, partnering with other ministries. I know, make some noise, Hope is Alive in the house tonight. We love partnering and doing stuff with Lance and Hope is Alive. So, but once a year, we normally take a month out to go on a tour and tell our story and testify the goodness of Jesus. And really the first time Julian ever DJed for me, I had a DJ who lived out of Houston, and I had an event in Madill, Oklahoma. Now, even when you just say Madill, you already know they pronounce Walmart, Walmarts. They pronounce McDonald's, McDonald's. And it's not middle of nowhere, but a very small town in Oklahoma. And we want you to come do a hip hop show. And I said, sure. I called my DJ, he couldn't get off work. So I looked at Julian playing Nintendo Wii. And I began to get an idea that came from the Lord. If he could figure out that, he could probably press play on a DJ controller. So Julian, you want to do a show for me? It's in Madill, Oklahoma. There'll probably be 20 people there, no big deal. Well, apparently, there's not a lot of competition in Madill. Not a lot to do. 300 kids show up. Julian was 9 years old. He was like, his head barely was over the DJ table. He had no actual DJ controller. We just had a laptop with an aux cord. And he just sat there and pressed spacebar throughout the night, and he killed it. And I realized that God had put something in our relationship, and that my purpose was to not be known as a great rapper, to not be known as a great performer, but I want to be known as a great father who has a great son who came together and overcame obstacles to spread good news. So I started paying him in Hot Pockets, and he just stuck around from 9 to 10. Then we went on our first tour in 2014. We had like 3.5 lights and 2 speakers. And I borrowed a microphone from a friend, and we just went for it. Our first tour, we played at an arcade. Have you ever tried to get the gospel while someone gets like a fatality on Mortal Kombat? Finish him, like right there as I'm talking about Jesus. It's very weird performing in an arcade, but we did it. We performed in San Antonio for like 12 people, so this is an amazing turnout for me. And it was at this place called the Christian Lounge where we show up, and there is an eviction notice on the door. And the guy's not even there. I'm like, so he got evicted, where are we gonna have the concert? So he shows up and he's like, hey man, say a prayer real quick because I think they turned the electricity off. I'm like, you couldn't have told me that before I drove 7 hours? And so he goes in and the lights come on, he goes, man, God is faithful. I'm like, you're not, but God is, yeah, but you need to pay your rent. He's like, man, God has been faithful. I've been behind for 3 years, and they just now gave an eviction notice. I'm like, this is horrible. So we've been through so much, and over time, we've built up more equipment to try to put on a great show for you guys, and we've tried to do what we can do in a spirit of excellence because we think that that matters, and we want to make beautiful art that reflects a beautiful Savior. So make some noise for yourself for coming out to our last tour together as father and son. I'm going to tell you what, if I make it past 7 songs without my voice going out, then we're just going to go really hard for like the last 4. Can we do that? Yeah. But if it does run out, I have a whole miming choreography thing pre-planned. It's got to go back, get the paint on, and can we do that? Yeah. Totally joking. I don't have anything planned. I got to tell a hilarious story. OB, come up here. Y'all make some noise for OB. Are you still here? Or? He's about to get married, so every waking second he's talking to his fiance, so I'm glad you're actually on the phone. Yeah, this is what it is. So literally there's no more hipster than like drinking, it's actually some herbal essential oil tea with some licorice and unicorn hair, basically anything that will keep my voice from going out. I'm desperate, y'all. My voice started going out on Wednesday. I actually drove up to Overland Park to do some stuff with Life Church and their student ministry. Voice was going out. I kept praying. Last night in Kansas City, I couldn't even get through sound check, and God really sustained me supernaturally. The show went fine. Coming down here, though, voice was sounding like trash. So you start getting desperate when you're, I know it's weird that you're standing here, but we're going to give a demonstration. You start getting desperate when your voice is going out, right? Who's ever been there before? You either got to talk, you got to give a presentation, and your voice is going out. It's really scary. And I don't play instruments. All I do is rap, so it kind of depends on this. So we start YouTubing, like, the most ridiculous stuff. How to get your voice back in 5 minutes. Lots of videos. This dude is doing some weird, like, acupuncture by hand maneuvers. And I'm like, dude, just go for it. So literally, we're backstage over here in this hallway. Okay? But come over here. I'm turning around like this. We're not even gonna rap. I'm just gonna tell stories. And Sean out goes, like, don't worry, we're really close. We're just good friends. And he like, oh, you're choking me. So they said, you go on the opposite side of your body where the problem is, and just press down really hard, and supposedly it'll take the virus and kick it out and move it to another part of your body. But as he's doing it, like, I literally have a bottle of honey, because I've been doing that too, and he's pushing like super hard, I'm going, and this dude walks back there. I don't know if he's still here. He might have just fled the scene and never looked back. I don't know what was going through his mind, but if you are here, I wanted to go ahead. Y'all give it up for acupuncture therapist, OB. This is actually my producer, so most of all the music you hear tonight, he makes it, he produces it. I just write the rap. So, yeah. But the crazy thing is, Colin, am I lying that my voice sounds a lot better? So I feel like if you want your voice back in 5 minutes, get a friend, have him dig his thumb all the way through the back of your neck until you start to choke. Like, I've never known you could get choked from back here. And you'll cough up some stuff and everything will be good. So that is what we did. Now what we're going to do is we're going to give away some free merchandise. Still got some more music left in you to hear. I don't want y'all to like, when is this going to end? I want to go home. We can go home and watch the playoffs. I know it's going down. Shout out to all of you who are missing that right now to be here. But this next song is off of an album I put out called Drifting. And I just got to let you know, we're going to do something that rappers normally don't do. Make some noise if you didn't know I had a documentary on Amazon Prime. Look at that, they have no idea. Make some noise if you didn't know I released a short story 2 years ago. They had no idea. See, this project Drifting, there's actually a shameless plug. There's a documentary on Amazon Prime, and there's actually an audio book, or you can get it on your Kindle by the same name, Drifting. And the whole album was based off this story I wrote about an astronaut who detaches from his space tether because he felt like his space tether that attached him back to his ship was restraining him from fully enjoying and experiencing space. And if that sounds familiar, because that's a lot how we can be as we're attached to Christ and his body, the local church. Sometimes we think, well, we're just not fully experiencing all this stuff because we're tied into this stuff. So let me just detach real quick. And the moment you detach, you begin to drift. And sure enough, the astronaut found out it was a death wish to detach from his space tether. And in the story, he actually drifts over the sun and comes to the conclusion he should have spent his whole life under the sun. I had to go over the sun just to get under the sun. I had to go over the S-U-N just to place my life under the S-O-N. We have to escape the cares of this world, because when your joy is rooted in this world, then something in this world can pull it up and take it away from you. But when your purpose and your joy and your mission is rooted in something and anchored in something completely outside of this world, no one can take it from you. The way I dressed, the way I behaved, it was rooted in who I was as a kid from a product of a broken home with drug-addicted parents, changing schools, becoming a teenage dad, literally homeless the summer of my junior year. And it wasn't until I found Christ in my 1998 Ford that I realized my identity was meant to be placed not in who I was, but whose I was. I belong to Jesus. I'm a child of God. I don't have any excuse. He's given me everything that I need. So right now, this song may be for you because you may not know who you are because you don't know whose you are. And if not, there's someone we all know. I'm thinking of them right now. They don't know who they are because they don't know whose they are. So can we sing this song for them? It goes like this, listen. You don't know who you are because you don't know whose you are. Say it with me, say it. You don't know who you are because you don't know whose you are. Then it goes, yeah. You taking pics like a superstar, but you cover up some brutal scars, yeah, yeah. I say you don't know who you are because you don't know whose you are, yeah. You know, I started working on this album way back in, not this album, but this next song is from an album called Be Different. And this is really the album that, like, we didn't buy a new house. We did get a minivan, but this album in a lot of ways changed our life. This album took me from, working full-time at a bank, learning and becoming content with that and honoring God in that and doing music and ministry on the weekends, to actually having a dream fulfilled that even though we're completely indie, my son's my DJ, we got this at a pawn shop on the way over here and decided to set up and have a tour. And it put me in a position where I could actually support my family, spreading the gospel through music. But it came at a price, because I can never forget my pastor telling me as I was rebuilding my life out of a season of just rebellion and everything came crashing down. And he said, Dillon, if you accomplish anything that you didn't pray about, it should scare you. And I thought, I've spent a lot of my life as a Christian just out chasing the next thing, all on the front, looking like, well, it's for God and His glory, but I never was even passionately praying about it. It's like I was going to build my little platform and my little kingdom. I remember what happened in my 1998 Ford. I got saved, but I was already rapping, and so I'm like, man, I just want to rap about something else is making my heart beat. I'm passionate about something else. Start rapping, and I remember I used to go to this studio back when I was not saved and heard about this rapper named Lecrae. This is back in 05. Well, back in 04. Fast forward to 05, I ended up going to church with Lecrae, and he helped produce my first album, took me on a tour, would take me to a couple of concerts, and I thought, oh, this is my ride, right? This is how I'm gonna make it and accomplish all these great things. And when it didn't happen, listen, I got frustrated and bitter and envious, and God's like, I'm not taking you anywhere, right? But I didn't know that, and I just kept trying to push, and it wasn't until my pastor set me down that I began to pray something I'd never prayed. I said, this don't make no kind of sense, but I'm screaming death to my accomplishments. In Wichita, I love you, but I don't need your acknowledgement. That's why I'm screaming death to my accomplishments. Because if I build it up, He can tear it down. If I build it up, say, He can tear it down. If I build it up, say, He can tear it down. Sometimes we don't appreciate the light of Jesus until we know what the darkness really feels like. And I wrote this song called Even in the Dark. And a lot of people assumed that it was probably written and inspired by suffering I was going through, whether that be, the drug addiction in my family, or, sick children. Like last year, we almost lost our son Jojo. He was in ICU for 10 days, and God, miraculously delivered him. But I've actually never told anyone this, and since there's not a lot of people here, I feel safe. This song was really actually written about the darkness that I've caused in other people's life because of my sin and my rebellion. I really put myself in other people's shoes and thought, this must be how they felt whenever my sin affected them. And I think we love to be the defense attorney of our own sin and the prosecutor of other people's sin. And I think things would be better if we learned to be a defender of others, and learn how to be a little bit more harsh on our own sin at times. And specifically, I thought about my wife, Samantha. I've been married 13 years. My wife is amazing. Julian will tell you. And you know, about halfway through our marriage, we just went through a really trying time. And I remember one of my pillars in life, that God is real, is the strength that she showed. That she believed that even in the darkness, she knew who God was and she would not be moved. So can we sing this song together? I think someone in here needs to know that even in the darkness, God is still God. I don't know if I can sing it. Just look at your neighbor and say, this is a rap concert. Lower your expectations. My voice is going down, but because even in the dark, I know you are God. Even in the dark, I know light so brightly into your heart, and he would just pierce and break up the darkness and the fear and the depression and the anxiety and all of those ugly things. And I refer to that as a transcendent light, a light that is empowered by flame or any source of nature, a light that existed before the sun. That is the light of Jesus. And this song was celebrating that even in that darkness, the transcendent light made its way through and brought me out of it. And then that's what gives me the light to see everything more clearly. Amen. That was mainly an amen, so I can have time to take a drink. Amen. Amen. Listen, y'all, lower your neck, man. Why you gotta try to stand so straight? It's okay. That's like, look how obedient he is. He would literally stand there for like 20 minutes. I'd be like, dude, I was joking. But anyway, listen, y'all get to love me when I'm on stage dying daily. He has to love me, has to, whenever Dad doesn't die daily. It's not always easy being away from home and the struggles and the tiredness of being on the road. But man, these last 6 years traveling with Julian as my DJ has taken us places we never thought we could go, from California to New York to Ghana to Paris. It was actually just layover on our way to Ghana, but it sounds pretty cool to say we were in Paris. But anyway, I just want to say that this is his last year as my DJ. This is his last tour with his dad. But I just thought maybe we could convince him maybe to just go one more year. 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 Yeah. Okay, that's actually the loudest they got all night. So that's how much they wanted. You really don't have to do it, but just want to say thank you. And hopefully maybe if I give you a raise, you might want to just maybe go one more year. But he's planning on going to school early, starting college at 16. I wasn't even in high school yet at 16. Maybe. And he wants to go into law enforcement. So if you ever need help getting out of a ticket or something, I'll have a plug for you for that. But that's it. We love you. We thank you, Pastor Tim, Grace Revolution Church. Hope is alive. You know, you guys for coming out. We thank you so much. That is the Joyful Loser Tour. Don't forget to get your free stuff, Lucas. I'm going to be right out there. We'll hang out with you guys, take pictures, whatever. Thank you so much.